Well, hey everybody, it's Carpo. I haven't done a video today, so I thought I'd give it a shot here. I'm using my phone, so hopefully it's decent. Actually, the reason why I'm making this is because I was going through some of my stuff and organizing, cleaning up, and I came across this piece of paper that I made, or I wrote down some notes a couple of weeks ago. And sometimes I find these notes that I take on particular issues that concern me or that I'm interested in. You know, when I get into a topic, I research it pretty well when I'm really into it. And I research it from both sides, you know, and listen to all the points of view. But this video, I guess, would be about the Kurds. And it's funny because we've all heard about the Kurds in the Middle East. At least most people have. And most of us don't hear much in the news at all, or even on alternate or mainstream media about the Kurds. But we hear all the time about the damn Palestinians, of course, because that's that whole propaganda machine because they're next to Israel. Yeah, I won't even get into that. There's actually 4 times more Kurds than Palestinians. And there are, according to what I wrote here, there are 40 million Kurds. Okay. Now, 40 million is a pretty damn significant number, and a lot of people just don't realize how many people there really are. Like, for example, in America, I believe there are somewhere around 360 million. Maybe there's more, maybe there's up to 400 million. So let's just say even 400 million. There's 1/10 of the U.S. population are Kurds in the Middle East. Now, the Kurds don't have their own state. Back when during World War II, when Israel got their own state, the idea was that the Kurds were trying to get their own state too, and they kind of got forgotten and left behind. Now, the Kurds, the thing that interested me the most about them is that when people see the Middle East, they think of everybody as just these, you know, crazy Islamic fundamentalists sometimes. I know not everybody thinks that, but a lot of people do. They think that all Islam, you know, are just totally suppressive. The thing that fascinated me about the Kurds is that not only do they have their own military, but their women are in the military, and their women are treated equally. And it's fascinating because there's a documentary I watched. Vice did an episode where I think it was Vice where they went there, and they were saying, well, maybe it's just for show and the women don't actually fight, but they went to the front lines and there was women out there on the front lines fighting, you know. And they're smart people. They're very progressive, okay? Progressive, let's say. And they're right smack dab in the middle of everything. And everybody's trying to get them out. Well, a lot of people want them out. There was, what was the Treaty of Sevres? I guess that was where they were supposed to get their own land, I think. Sorry, the notes kind of, I lost track. 1/3 of the Iraq oil reserves are controlled by the Kurds. Or were controlled by the Kurds, and I don't know the exact details of what has transpired during the war. Friendly to Israel, what's that? I can't remember. Kurd/Jew, 150,000. Oh, there are 150,000 Kurdish Jews. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of interesting things to be able to have an open culture, I guess, like that. You know, meanwhile, in the same country, in a country over, people are being, you know, hanged and murdered for being homosexual. Anyway, they were given weapons, it says, by the USSR and Israel. That's what I wrote down. Of course, everybody's given weapons by Israel, and so therefore they were probably given by the U.S. But the idea would be that the U.S. or Israel would want to support the Kurdish forces because they're trying to fight the Iraqis, because they control so much of the reserves on Iraqi soil. And I thought, well, of course they're going to give them weapons. The thing is, they were able to utilize those weapons and keep them and create an army and actually protect themselves now, you know, and they're very well organized. It's really interesting. Let's see. Oh, I wrote down the percentages of people who are Kurdish that live in these particular countries. 18% of the people who live in Turkey are Kurdish. 15 to 20% of Iranians, or what is that? Is that Iraq? Sorry, my I was writing fast. It says Iraq, I believe. 15 to 20% of Iraqians are also Kurdish. 8% of Syrians and 7% of Iran. And, yeah, of course it's Iraq. That's because they control the oil reserves. So 40 million people, you know, that's a pretty significant number. And I guess my only point of making this video is just to point out that smack dab in the middle of all this chaos and is a very progressive area that has the potential to expand and to become something great. Unfortunately, we don't want that to happen at this point. We just wanted them to destabilize, right, so we could move in, get resources. I mean, that's what it appears. But we wouldn't want them to actually take control of their own land. Of course not. So what are we going to do about that? Are the Kurdish going to be our next enemy? Are we going to start funding the other side to take out the Kurdish? You see, the Kurds don't want, they just want their own land, their own country. They don't want a war. They don't want to invade anybody. So, you know, anyway, point being, I made the video, and I urge you to go just check out some Kurdish, you know, information. Just check out. I mean, Google's so damn easy. You know, Kurdish army or Kurdish whatever. Peace.